Michael?
Yes.
Yeah, I've done. You're now live streaming, so you can
Right.
make me co-host for now. I've already made you the host as well.
Yep, that's fine. I've done that. I've now put the recording on as well.
Yeah. Can you make me co-host for now?
Oh, you want to be co-host as well?
Yeah, because I'll be doing
Okay, James
TS
is
as well for
coming
your
in.
class.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there we are.
All right, there you go. Thanks. I'll just be in the background.
That's fine.
Uh, all
Yeah,
right, thanks.
that's great. Looks like everybody who booked has fallen asleep.
Mhm.
But we live streaming. Do I have to go ahead with the lesson if we live streaming with no class?
Sorry. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's fine. Hello, Vera.
Hi,
Hey, welcome.
thank you.
Hey, what brings you to this particular class?
Just, I don't know, curiosity.
You know what curiosity did, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's fine. There were 4 people booked. I just want to see if the others come in. But just tell me a little bit about your background. I mean, are you now retired?
Yes.
And what did you do before you were retired?
Hair.
Hair.
Yeah, hair salon.
Oh, hair salon.
Cosmetologist, yeah.
Okay. Okay. And did you enjoy that? Was that something you really enjoyed?
I did. Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. And any thoughts about the future?
Um, you mean of starting a business or
Yeah. Yeah. Doing something, keeping active. Any ideas?
that's it. Yeah, maybe online if I can find something online, when COVID first started, I started sewing masks.
Right.
Sold them for a little bit, and um, then they became available everywhere.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I just got tired of them too. I got tired of making them and wearing them, and And then I even got a box of disposables. Easier.
Okay, right. Okay. What I'm going to do, I'm going to be talking through a process, Vera, that's basically based on my own personal experience. I love business. I've always been in business, and I've started businesses, and I've been CEOs of a public company and so on. So business is my background, and so I've evolved a class here on Get Set Up that is specifically to like the second career, and so that's what we're going to be going through. But before we start, I want to introduce you to Lester. He's from Get Set Up, and he is a part of the class, and he makes sure that everything is running correctly and smoothly, and he's also streaming this on one of the social media sites probably. But Lester, to you, welcome.
Thank you, guys.
There he is. So
Oh, Lester.
All right. So Vera, can you see my first slide up on the screen?
Work with your purpose in life.
Right. Okay. Now, this is a first class of what is going to be a series of 5 classes. Okay. This one is about your purpose, about the idea that you're going to come up with. Okay. And I will send you at the end of this class a copy of all the slides I'm going to show you. So you don't have to jot down anything from the slides, but you might want to write down, if you've got a notepad handy, just odd things that perhaps we discuss, or an idea that comes up while you and I are talking about it. All right. So, but I will send you an email with an attachment. Okay. And anyway, to start the process going, my name, as you can see on the screen, is Michael Plumstead, and I live in Perth in Western Australia. And the time has just gone 11 a.m. in the morning. Where do you live, Vera?
California.
Okay. So what are you, about 9 in the evening now?
8 o'clock.
8. Okay. 8 o'clock. Yeah. It's quite interesting when you look at a map. You see the Eastern Australia is not that far from Northwestern America. Okay, it's like just a sea in between and some islands, but it's quite interesting that one always sees America on the other side of the world, and Americans see Australia as the other side of the world. But in actual fact, it's not quite like that. All right. This is the agenda that we're going to move through, and it doesn't mean too much at the moment, but hopefully by the end of the class, it will mean a lot. And I hope that by the end of the class, you're going to take away some tasks to do for yourself personally and homework. And in order to now relook at your second career after hairdressing, okay, and how you're going to move forward. And yeah, so, when you get to our age, what you see on the screen now, the purpose of life now is a life with purpose. Okay, so more so now than ever. I mean, we've done our task, we've brought up families, and we've been in careers and so forth. And but now becomes, I'm into my 70s. So I look at the next 30 years as really an important career, okay, and really to have a purpose to that career. And that excites me when I think about it, because it's really important to use our senior years as something specific for ourselves and perhaps for the larger community as well. Okay, so I'm going to go through 7 steps. Okay, and each step should be in the real world now, not you mustn't move on to the next step until such time as you finish the first step. Okay, there's no, what I'm going to discuss today, there's no quick fix. There's no, well, there's just 7 steps, just follow the 7 steps and I'll forget about the second one. Don't fall into that trap. Okay, each step is important. Answer the question for each step. Okay, each step is a question and an answer for yourself. And also, Vera, it's important to not share this process with anybody. Okay, this is secret to you. Okay, this whole process. Don't sort of tell your spouse or you tell your children or tell your best friend, that you're going through this process and working on this process, because you want to really connect more with your subconscious mind than your conscious mind through this process. Okay, so just be aware that you run into comments. Everybody's got a comment, and if you say something to somebody about it, they'll have a comment, and that comment, might just upset you or it might demotivate you. So keep it private. There will come a time when you can share everything, definitely, but not during the process. All right, so step 1, if you look at the whole planet, the whole Earth, there are basically only 3 types of businesses. Okay. The first is you manufacture a product and you sell it, like a factory or a craftsman or an artist. Okay. The second is you buy a product from someone else and resell it. Okay, maybe as a wholesaler or a retailer, an affiliate. Maybe in your hairdressing salon, you were selling certain products in the hairdressing salon that you bought from a supplier and then sold it to your customers that came into the hairdressing salon. So you were buying a product and selling it on. Then the third aspect is you learn a skill or a service, and then you sell that, like a doctor or a tradesman, a designer, a lawyer, a nurse, a computer programmer. So basically, hairdressing falls into learn a skill and offer a skill. Okay, and but now the reason I show you this and the reason I start with this is because now we're going to turn it around and we're going to look at it from a personal point of view. Okay, so because you are totally unique, okay, and very, very broadly speaking, each of us were born to do something. Okay, and we might have done it in our life, in our career. Okay, or we might not have, for whatever reasons, the way life leads us. Okay, so the way to get to step 1 is to ask yourself 3 questions. Okay, and let's just go through them. They're on your screen now. I enjoy working with my hands. That's a question you ask yourself. Okay, and I almost suspect you may answer that positively, but having been a hairdresser. But I want you just to go through all of them. And I know we all have a little bit of everyone in us, but that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for the dominant one, the primary one, in order to start this idea and purpose that we're now going to do. So the second question is, or statement is, I enjoy interacting with people. Okay, is that your primary of the 3 things? Because these are now the personal side of what I showed you in the previous slide. Okay, And then the third one, ask yourself, do you enjoy working by myself, using my head and the skills I have learned, possibly at a computer, and maybe training people on a computer or whatever it is, or maybe you want to be an accountant, or but you want to really work by yourself. Okay, so these are three. You need to come to an answer with one of them. Okay, because one of them always dominates every human being. But if we've never gone through this exercise, it's not necessarily all that easy. Do you have a feeling or a leaning towards one of those, Vera?
I'd say interacting with people.
Yeah, you like that. You enjoy that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's great. And so do I. Okay, that was my choice. And that's why I am doing what I'm doing now too. It's for that reason, for that choice. So you would write down as step one on your piece of paper that I enjoy interacting with people. Okay, and you jot that down. That's the answer for you then for step one, if it's already that clear to you. Okay, so now we move on to step two. Why do I want to work with any idea? I mean, what is the reason? Why am I even thinking about it? Okay, why am I looking for an idea to work with? Okay, so what we do here is to try and establish what your intention is. It's not allowed to be money, okay, definitely. If your intention is to supplement your income, that comes later. That is a result of how successful you become. But it's not the reason, and it mustn't be the reason that you start to go into business. Okay, must not. There must be another reason. Okay, and we'll be working with that now in this class. So what is it? What is your intention? What do I want to do? Okay, and more importantly than all, why? Why do I want to do it? So why am I thinking of this? You see, and this is you must take maybe 2 or 3 days to think about this. When you're relaxing, drinking a cup of hot tea or coffee and relaxing, and you're thinking, why do I want to even look at starting a not a business, but an activity, or look for an idea that has a purpose for me to follow? Okay, and so ask yourself that question time and time again before you move on to perhaps another step. But I wanted the intent is the foundation stone for the next whatever 30 years, perhaps. Okay, it might be that intent might develop into a specific purpose, a specific idea, and it's not about the money. It's about what you enjoy doing, and you never thought that you would actually enjoy doing it, but when you start thinking about it, you start feeling good about that particular idea or that particular thought. Not logic. This whole class, this whole process on this class one, it's got nothing to do with logic. Okay, you don't say, well, I can never make money with that, or intent is what you start this process with in step two. The intention is the starting point of everything that might become a dream in the future. Really, and that gives us purpose. That gives us a reason to live if we have that dream. But we can't just take anything off Google and then decide we're going to dream about it. It doesn't work that way, because dream is about a subconscious thing. It's about a feeling, a heartfelt aspect, and this lays the growth and the possibilities of the energy that you need in order to take an idea forward with purpose. Okay, so intent is like the first part of that, the first aspect of what I've just said, the purpose and the idea. So intent, if you have an intent, it motivates you, it's creative, it sustains the energies that you need. Because if you were just going into something for the money, okay, the first problem you hit, you've got no reason to carry on because the money's not there, it's not making money, so you stop. And that has been the problem even historically with people starting businesses, because they start with the wrong purpose. They start with the idea of, I just want to make money. But that must not be the process, okay? You've got to find that intent that's unique to you. Yeah, you can't sort of go and share it with other people and find out, oh yeah, that's a good intent. No, you've got to come up with it yourself. It's got to be, as Oprah says, there's got to be an aha moment, okay? And so you've got to allow that time. You've got to allow that process on a daily basis, just, by relaxing, thinking about whatever you want to think about, but moving forward in a questioning yourself with some ideas that perhaps you might have had before. And so you start with step 2. Well, after step 1. So you write the answer down to step 2. Why do I want to work with? Any idea? What's the reason? There must be a why in life. And particularly when you get to our senior phase of life, okay, we need to be asking why more than ever before. I mean, even why are we buying that product? Okay, give yourself a reason. Fine, you agree with the reason, then you buy it. Okay, but also when you're thinking of that light bulb moment that you're waiting for it to come, you need to have a why of joining this class, a why, or you might not have had it beforehand, but by the time you leave it, why? Why do I want to do something in my life? Okay, what is the reason for that? Okay, so that's your step 2, and you would write that down. Step 3 is find meaning to your life. So this is where you find your way towards new ideas, a new purpose in life. And it's going to come to you through this process of like a light bulb moment. Okay, that, you're now relaxing every day and you asking yourself, what is my purpose in life? What is my purpose in life? And you will get that light. You will get all sorts of light bulb moments. You might be, as you wake up in the morning, you might suddenly have an idea. And before you go to the bathroom, you must write it down in your little book that you're carrying with you now all the time. You're never without it. Never go to the supermarket without your little book, because you might be talking to the teller, and while you're talking to the teller, all of a sudden an idea comes from nowhere. And that will happen if you are sincere and honest about finding your purpose and your idea to move forward in life. So you can, these questions I'm going to, they're not specific questions. You can make up your own questions and think about them. But just to sort of help you, give you examples and lead you forward, you've already decided that you prefer working with people. And so you've already, in a way, got that. So you've got really a big step forward in that step 1. Just excuse me while I drink some water. I'm losing my voice. So, ask yourself, what makes my life worth living? And just allow ideas to come through. Your logical mind will take dominance, and that's fine. Allow it to, because you're waiting for that aha moment to come. So you've got to occupy your logical mind all the time. You might ask, what do I want my life to be? Who or what do I want to be? That might be, maybe you think, I've always liked architecture. Maybe I want to be an architect. Okay. Yes, that means I've got to go studying some more. That's fine. I can study online, but I've always wanted to be an architect. So why not? Okay. And so, you might answer that question of who or what do I want to be? You might also have special gifts and talents that you've never used in your career before. Maybe you're able to sketch nicely, or you just have green fingers, you can grow anything at all. The list can go on, but you would know if you do have certain characteristics or certain gifts that, why have I got those gifts? Okay. What have I done with those gifts? Okay. Should I be using those gifts? So you can ask those sort of questions to yourself as you move forward. So what can I introduce into my life that will give me fulfillment, joy, and a sense of direction? Okay, that could be a logical question. That's, again, you ask yourself that question, and ideas will come up and thoughts will come up, and you can ponder those thoughts and even ask yourself straight out, what gives my life meaning and purpose? And the big question is, what are you walking a path in life that is uniquely yours? Okay, don't go looking for other people's paths and thinking, that's a nice path to follow. Okay, this is a process that you've got to, if you have never done it previously in your life and you've got to this stage of retirement, this is the time to offer, because there's a good 30 years in us still, and we can use that. Maybe it's, you just want to benefit abandoned children, or maybe you want to benefit, whatever. But the important thing is to come up with that idea and purpose. Okay, it doesn't have to do with money. It mustn't say, well, I can't make money with it. It's not about that. This class is about an idea and a purpose. And you may never sell anything in your life. That's fine. Okay, and so be it. But find that idea and purpose. Belinda, I see you've just joined. We're halfway through the class. Okay, but you're welcome to listen. Okay, can you hear me, Melinda? Melinda Manning? Okay, no, she doesn't. All right, but if you can hear me, we're in a process of working through some steps that are important. So Vera, at this stage, step 1 and 2, any questions, any clarity you might want? You're comfortable about what I've been going through?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
I know that I want to help others.
Yeah, and you want to work with people, sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But step 2 is going to be is like fine, but step 3 is now a little bit more where you need to get yourself engaged quietly in a quiet room and think about this step 3. So write down the things that you've been, those light bulb moments you've had. You need to have a pad and paper. Okay, you're not going to get there because it's a process. It's going to take many weeks. Okay, and you're going to move forward on that. Okay, so that's step 3. So now we get to step 4. Broadly, what do I want to do in my business? very broadly, okay? Because now you've reached step 3. You've got 3 answers that you've now written down. And so now you're looking at sort of very broadly, you know, what is that category that you're going to be working in? Do you want to, perhaps, will it fall into writing? You want to write a book on whatever you want to do, or do you want to, maybe train people in becoming whatever you decide to choose on? So a very broad category is now the next step 4, is finding that broad category. But the key to the broad category is that it must come from your heart and not your head. It must be a feeling that when you say, for example, I'm good at languages, I'd like to become a translator, there must be a good feeling in your that can only come from your emotions. Okay, so you're not looking for a logical. Okay, it has to be a feeling. So when you talk about I want to maybe communicate about special ways of doing hairdressing or certain time, and you feel good about that. Okay, if you get no feeling, then leave it. You leave it out and you move on. Okay, it doesn't matter if it's part of your past or not part of your past. Preferably, even better to not have been part of your past. So you look at very broad categories of work with a feeling, and there'll be lots of these categories coming up in your discussion. So you must have that pad and pencil, and you just write them down. Okay, so I call them, list all my whats. Okay, what do I want to do in business? What is the category? Just broadly, very broadly, no detail. Don't get into detail at this stage. And so with step 4, you write down everything that comes to mind, and you might wake up in the middle of the night and something comes to mind. You write it down. Okay, and so you push in an aspect of your subconscious that possibly you haven't used before. Okay, so step 5, why is essential in your home business. Excuse me, let's take another drink. Right, so let me give you an example about the why, okay? Two people intend to donate money to charity. The first one's why, the first one's reason is to get a tax deduction. The second person wants to assist abandoned children. Okay. So you see the what is the same. Okay. Donate money to charity. But the why is different. And this is an important aspect as we're looking forward to a new purpose in life, a new idea, or repurposing ourselves. Maybe that's a better word, repurposing ourselves. Okay, sorry, Shirley, I see you've just joined. Hello and welcome.
Sorry, I'm late.
Yeah, we're halfway through the various steps yet, but you're welcome to join. Okay, so the why is always so very, very. If you have an authentic, motivating why to live for now in the second half of your life, you will discover many hows to achieve it. Okay, how is not a problem. Okay, and we'll go through that in future classes that we're going to hold now next month. So the how is not important. It's this, to have this, the why. You must have the why. You must have an authentic, motivated why, and that it's building up from step 1, 2, 3, and 4 that we've now had in this class, and so that's the reason that you get to this point, you must give yourself time to really get that aha moment and get that purpose, that broad category that you know why. Okay, so let me give you some now examples, and let's have a look at these examples. And I make no apologies that actually happen to be my own that I've used, as I told you at the beginning of this class. So you come up, first of all, in your first 4 steps, you come up with a purpose, okay? And when I went through, I've done this a number of times in my life, and again, just very recently. So you're looking for a purpose. So I came up with to reach, write, and share the information that will benefit individuals. Okay, so that was my purpose, my grand purpose. Okay, very broad, very broad. I mean, what am I going to research? What am I going to write? You know, who am I going to share? And how am I going to share? Okay, it's that that's not part of your broad, you know, but you don't put that down. You're not looking at the detail. And why do I want to move in this direction, my grand purpose? Because I love researching. I love discovering new information. I'm always looking for new stuff, okay, especially with modern technology and what's going on. And I enjoy writing, but I also enjoy just communicating via video and things like that. So, but I still write. Okay, so you need to take a few days now to think about the why you want to do what you want to do. Okay, and you need to take time over it. You need to relax on it. This is not a one sitting exercise in the process, because you've got many decades ahead of you still that you're going to want to be doing this. And in one of my future classes, I'm going to give you examples of a lot of people that are in their 80s and 90s that started and are really flourishing. Okay, and you can contact them on Instagram, in fact. Some of them are, anyway. Okay, so at this point now, I said I'd take a few days to think about the why you want to do and what you want to do. But now, when you've done that, you're now clear about the reason for wanting to work some sort of process. It might not be anything to do with money, okay? You're clear about the reason for wanting to work, the type of work, and the reasons for that type of work. Now, you've reached that in this class. You've now have gone through that. It might still take you another week or two to get to that point of answering these. But when you've got to that point, put it all together in one big paragraph, because you now have an overall purpose to your life. You have a mission of what you want to achieve in your second career, or your reworked purpose, your revamped purpose. You've had your purpose. Maybe your purpose previously was to have children, bring them up, educate them, and you've achieved that, or whatever it was. Now you're going to, look at revamping that purpose. And so at this point, when you've reached this step, you should be excited. Okay, you can't wait to keep on going and keep on going. If you're not excited, okay, you've allowed your head to interfere. Okay, and the feeling is essential as we look to repurpose our lives, and to find an idea that helps us repurpose our lives. Okay, so step 6 now comes a little bit more detail. Remember, you do not move on to step 6 until you've answered your questions to step 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, and you might find yourself sticking at step 3. Then stay there until you feel. Don't just give yourself an answer that clearly is an excuse for just putting an answer down. Don't do that. Okay, so Now you take your what, remember the broad category, and start thinking and researching to bring it down to a smaller category, a more specific category. Okay, so you've got your broad category, and so the reason you want to do this is now you get into a category that you might have to go back to school and learn. Okay, it's not based on your experience or your skills or anything like that. Nothing like that. You may have to start afresh. If you now suddenly decide to be a bookkeeper and you've never been a bookkeeper, you need to take some classes online and learn to become that bookkeeper that you want to, in order to work by yourself in front of your computer. Okay, so, but that's not Vera and I anyway. Okay, we want to work with people, don't we, Vera? Okay. So we now want to get more knowledge, but you need to now know what that category is. So let's go back to the example that I gave you. Okay, our what example. Okay, I wanted to be a researcher and a writer. Okay, so the broad purpose, the big category, want to research, write, and share. Then we bring it down now. This is what I'm asking you to do. Now you bring that, what are you going to research, write, and share? Okay, and my answer was a sort of a general purpose. And the next step down, very broadly, I want to research, write, and share alternative health treatments. Okay. Now, I had a motive for that because I wasn't healthy when I was doing this exercise, and I had very sore legs and did a bit of wheelchair as well, and I wanted to cure myself a natural way. So I decided that in order to, my broad purpose must help me too. Okay, I felt really good about that and wanting to do it. So the feeling was there, and then I brought that purpose now to even a more specific category. Still broad, okay, still broad. I mean, alternative health treatments are an enormous category. The nervous system diseases is also an enormous category, but it's more specific now when it falls underneath the general purpose. And then from there, you can actually now find your first product, okay? So I decided to start with Parkinson's disease, multiple sclerosis, Alzheimer's, peripheral neuropathies, and others as well that I've now written about over a number of years, and they're all sitting on my website for other people to maybe gain some benefit from my journey, my health journey, which what this really became to. So you see now how you reach that broad purpose, and that broad purpose is so important in this process. Okay, and then you bring it down, and then you bring it down. Okay, so in step 6, you now write down the detail of the what, the specific product. Okay, which is here, which is down here, the specific product. I was going to now write. I was going to research, write, okay, about Parkinson's disease and multiple, and then communicate that and share that with people. Remember, that's right at the top, the broad purpose. But we've got down now to the product. We've got down to the idea now, okay? And so, step 7, are there any questions up to step 6? Because step 7 is the last step.
No.
Okay, so
I just find
Sorry.
your nervous system research interesting because I have tardive dyskinesia.
Okay. That is very interesting. Yeah, you must go to my website and go and have a look at it. Okay. Okay. So now in the final step in this class, okay, step 8 continues in the next class, which is the second class, and then it continues to the third class, the fourth class, and the fifth class. So I'm going to, anybody that wants to follow this process seriously and authentically, you join me on this journey. These new classes they're only coming out in May, and so this is the first of those. Okay, so now you take your idea and think about how. Now, there are lots of hows. Okay, how are you going to deliver this particular product that you have come up with, or whatever it is? Okay, it might be baking cookies. Who knows? Okay, whatever it happens to be, you now are going to find out how. And there are, as I said, there are lots of hows that you can look for. But how? Maybe you're going to take your knowledge and become a trainer. Okay. And in future classes, I'll show you how trainers would market themselves. Or you become a freelancer, and I'll show you platforms where freelancers would go. Okay, and so forth. Okay, you might want to sell products or buy and sell products, and but that's what you're thinking about now. Okay, and that's what you finally decide on. You will now start with that. Okay, if it's not obvious, then go to Mr. Google and do some research. Now you can use your logical mind now, because now you're looking at how you're going to get it out there. And the part of step 7 is also create a sample product, whatever you do. And if it's an article you're going to write, or a book, start the process, put in the chapters and so on. If you're going to be baking, then bake whatever you do and give it away. And if you're going to be a website designer, then do some website design for free in order to get the experience, and give it away. You want comments, you want feedback. Okay, and this is an important part of the pre-launch of whatever you're going to do in your repurposed career. Okay, then comes everything else. Okay, which will be in the other classes. So it's very important to go slowly through these steps and think about them. Okay, because you will be so grateful in 2, 3, 4, 5 years' time, because you're working with what you have repurposed in your life. Really, really. Okay, so Shirley, you have a question? Shirley, hello? You have a question?
Yeah, could you give me your website, Michael?
Yeah, you can. You're not going to find this class on my website, but certainly the health journey and how I wrote the articles. Yes, definitely. It's my first name and surname.com. So it's michaelplumstead.com. Very easy. Okay.
I'd like to look at it.
Okay, with purpose. Absolutely. You're welcome to do that. And you're welcome. I do a weekly email as well. Also still around the health. Okay, so I focus that website just around the health. I've researched, natural health, and I've got myself better through natural health. But I still write those emails because I so enjoy doing them as well.
Well, I'm interested in your content for Alzheimer's. My husband passed away with Alzheimer's in 2017, and I'm showing a little bit of memory. I'm telling you, I go to think of something, and I tell everybody I had Sometimers. Sometimes I remember.
Okay.
So
Yeah. You will find stuff on my website there, definitely. Okay, because I think at our age, all of us think about Alzheimer's. Okay, and particularly, what goes first is our short-term memory. And then the long-term memory after that. But the short-term, you forget where you put your keys, you forget where you put the butter, and so on. So those sort of things. So yeah, I would love to talk about it, but go and have a look, and I hope you find something useful.
I will do. I'm still a member of the Calgary Alzheimer's support group. We meet once a month, and we meet tomorrow night, as a matter of fact. And I'll look at your site then before I go to my meeting tomorrow.
Okay, yeah, that'll be great. If I'm also on the site, I'm giving away my 2021 ebook, which is my latest research with regards to natural healing and health and so on as well. So if you subscribe, you get it automatically for free for the email. And then you can unsubscribe from the email, and you've got the ebook. So you're welcome to do that and to read that. Okay, so let's back to step 7. We've now, you know what we're going to be doing. And remember, I love this saying. I think it is so, so true. And that's why I drive this class. The purpose of life is a life with purpose. Okay, so we might have already done our purpose from bringing up children or whatever, as I said, but now we're in a situation where we now need to revisit that and find our purpose in our senior years. And it's going to be so much more exciting than perhaps our career ever was. So take the time and trouble to do it. Okay. And for those like Melinda and Shirley, you're welcome to come back and do this class again. So you get right from step 1. Okay.
Will do. Thank you.
All right. Pleasure. Okay. Well, thanks very much indeed for being part of the class, and Vera for participating. I really appreciate it. And I'd love to hear from you again in the future, Vera, where, you know, exactly what you decide. I'm really interested in people, as are you. You said you were too.
When is your next class, the second one?
It hasn't been scheduled yet. It's going to be scheduled by the end of the week, and probably over the weekend. If I get set up, it'll probably only be on Sunday or something like that. But if you go to, let's say on Monday, to the getsetup.io class, and then look at classes, and then just type my name in, okay, and then you will see the classes up. Then it's a new feature on Get Set Up. If you can search by guide now. Okay.
You have to do that on a PC, though. I can't do it on my tablet or my phone.
Okay. Well, if you can get onto Get Set Up, you will be able to. You know, if you can get onto getsetup.io, you will be able to do that. Yeah. If you can't, then do it on your computer. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much for being part of the class. Much appreciated, all of you. And good evening. And we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
See you down under. Bye-bye.
Yeah, I'm from Australia. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Bye-bye.